Wednesday morning, I was in full beard. They shaved everything, cut my hair, colored, did everything, and then I started just making swings Wednesday morning, and did just a couple things for the next like 2 days. And then by Friday, they were like making a decision whether I was going to be able to do this or not. And I guess Adam really liked it, and he liked that, I could do it and do it easily and kind of freely. And it looked enough like him, I guess, that he liked it. And so Friday, I was good to go and kind of signed with them for like the next 6 weeks.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to Golf Subpar with Colt, Knost, and Drew Stoltz. And this episode is brought to you by Fanatics Sportsbook. The majors may be over, but there's still great golfs coming, and Fanatics Sportsbook has all new ways to bet on it. The best update? You can now parlay multiple players, like combining the overall winner with top 5, 10, and 20 finishes, whole scores, and making the cut. Plus, me and Drew are still dropping weekly Subpar picks in the Fanatics Sportsbook app, where you can ride with us each week. And as a bonus for new customers, no pun intended, you'll get $200 in bonus bets when you sign up and bet $20. Just use the code SUBPAR when you join. So much great golf ahead, so many ways to bet, all in the Fanatics Sportsbook app. Join America's fastest growing sportsbook today. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatics Sportsbook app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut residents call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts residents call 800-327-5050. New York residents call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland residents visit mdgamblinghelp.org. All right, let's get this party started. 3M Open last week on the PGA Tour. Kurt Kitayama picks up his second win of his career on the PGA Tour, beating Sam Stevens by a shot up at TPC Twin Cities. The man went low on the weekend. Must have had him some birdie juice Friday night, because he goes out and shoots 60-65. That included 20 birdies over the final 2 rounds.
Yeah, how about a little 18 under through 27-hole stretch dating back to the final hole Friday, birdies 18, then shoots 60, then goes out and shoots a little 29. It's been a rough year. It hasn't been a great year for Kurt Kitayama, but when he gets going, dude, when he gets running hot, he's weird what he can do. He's one of those guys that has that extra gear that can take it crazy low. And, I mean, Saturday and then the first half of Sunday, it pretty much gave himself a cushion. Got a little closer, honestly, than I was expecting. Couple guys had a chance. Sam Stevens had a chance. Jake Knapp there on the 72nd hit what I think he thought was a perfect second shot to give himself a chance for eagle. Ended up going in the soup, but hell of a run by Kurt Kitayama. And hey, kudos to us, dude. Both of us getting our bets across the finish line.
We did. You had
double chicken.
You had Jake Knapp top 20. I had your son Wyndham Clark as a top 20. Both cashed. Going back to that Kurt Kitayama, 18 under through 27, I thought I was back at Mesa Verde Country Club again. But this was actually a gross score, not a net score.
He'd be down 2-0.
Yeah,
He'd only be down in one bet, though.
He would be getting absolutely smoked. But Kurt, man, it's been a tough year for him. 110th on the FedEx Cup going into the week, now 53rd. His caddy, Tim Tucker, has been with him for quite some time, had the choice to go over and caddy for Bryson DeChambeau on Live. Decided to take that. Kurt brings out his brother. Boom. Wins immediately. Pretty amazing story, but congrats to Kurt Kitayama. I want to talk a little bit about Jake Knapp. You brought him up. Also, he's going to be a guest this fall on Subpar when he gets back in Scottsdale. The more I'm around this guy and the more I watch him play, the more I like him and the more I'm impressed by how good he is. The way he flights the golf ball, high, low, moves it left to right to left, can roll the rock. This guy's good, man. Like, I don't think we've seen near the best of Jake Knapp yet. He's got one victory so far on the PGA Tour. He shot a 59. He shot a 61 this season. He can go as low as anybody. But when he tightens up the short irons in the wedge game, look out for Jake Knapp. I really do think this guy has the ability to win multiple times a season on the PGA Tour. And I'm just going to throw one out there. I threw a bold prediction at you last year. I said Max Grazerman was going to be in contention at the Masters this year. Made the cut, but wasn't in contention. That's fine. It's a bold prediction. I'm going to tell you right now, I think Jake Knapp is on the Ryder Cup team in Ireland in 2027.
Okay. A couple of years ago.
I doubt either of us will remember this, but I'm just throwing it out there right now.
Right. No one will remember this. I barely remember mine from the beginning of the year. That was Luke Clanton. Mm-hmm. We're going to need something real special to happen for Luke Clanton to get on that U.S. Ryder Cup team. But you're right about Jake Knapp. I mean, he's got all the tools. He plays such a fun style of golf to watch. He crushes it off the tee, which everyone wants to do. But like you mentioned, dude, he hits these flighted down, not just irons, but he'll do it with the driver too. It's one of the most beautiful golf games, I think, on the PGA Tour. Like, he reminds me, there's a lot of comps to Freddie Couples, and I think that's true. Like, he's got a golf swing that if you could pick one, you'd be like, I want that one. It's beautiful. The tempo is incredible. He smashes it. Also seems very chill at all times. He's not a roller coaster, very little up and down. He's just like a cool dude. I feel like he's just a guy that's going to have tons and tons of fans. And if he continues on his trajectory that he's on right now, I mean, that 27 Ryder Cup isn't too far-fetched. I think he's 34th right now on the U.S. side. Obviously, this year, without a couple wins, probably ain't going to happen. But from a talent perspective, dude, what else are you looking for?
Yeah, he's got 4 top 6s on the season. I know yesterday really stung, making bogey on the last hole there yesterday. Like you said, he thought he flagged an 8-iron. In my opinion, the wind died on him a little bit. I was with his group. He tried to smash an 8-iron from 215, and the wind was absolutely humming, then died down a little bit right before he got over the golf ball. Tough break there, but just the wrong shot at the wrong time. But I see so many good things in his golf game that I really think it's going to, I know he crossed the finish line. He won in Mexico against a pretty weak field, but I just think he's going to win a big time event, maybe like a signature event or something like that. And I think it's just going to just totally change his confidence, and he's going to go on to great things. His attitude's great. All the skills are there that you need. It's just those short irons a little bit. And I brought up on our radio show, it's kind of like Dustin Johnson when he first turned pro, though Jake Knapp is 31 years old. It's like he's not just getting going. He's just getting going on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, he should already be a first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion. He shot 59 at PGA National, which is something I thought would never be done. Granted, it played a little bit different, but I don't care. And there's another guy that I think we've had kind of a similar conversation. Like, look at this guy's golf game. What doesn't he do? I think he could really come on, and it's happening right now. And I want to get your opinion just because we kind of touched on Ryder Cup stuff there. But Chris Gotterup continued his good play. Top 10, I think, feels like it should have been a little closer to that. If he could have closed out rounds on 18 a little better, he would have been right there. But, first, fourth, now a 10th Colt, up to 20th in the Ryder Cup standings. Was that enough this week to move the needle at all at Chris Gotterup's way?
I don't think he's like on the team yet. He still needs more good golf, but Keegan Bradley, I'm sure after the Open Championship and the win at the Scottish was like, okay, yeah, he's trending nicely. Let's see what happens. And then all of a sudden here, another top 10. I walked with him on Thursday when he opened with 8 under par, 63. It's impressive, man. The golf swing's a little different, but he smashes it. He's playing with so much confidence right now. You can just see he's a different guy out there. And taking this week off, the Windham Championship, and they'll start back up in the playoffs, has a great chance to make it all the way to East Lake. If he plays well, and I'm not saying he can go out there and finish like 15th and 15th and make the Tour Championship and all of a sudden he's on the Ryder Cup team. Like, I think he needs to go out there and contend in one of these playoff events.
I think he's going to. I think he needs a week off right now. He's been on a long stretch. Wasn't even expecting to play the Open Championship. Then gets in there, works his way into contention, flies back, plays this week. Week off going into this thing. East Lake, he sits 20th currently in the FedEx Cup standings. I expect him to play all the way through into East Lake, and I expect him to keep playing well. And I think if he works himself into contention at least one more time, even if he moves up to 18, 17, and you're Keegan Bradley and sitting there, like, who's playing the best right now? Not to mention that his golf game is exactly what you would look for at a place like Bethpage Black. I think this week, it didn't move the needle, of course, not to the point where he's on the team, but I think it just further solidified himself in that conversation as one of the bubble guys right now, and I think he's going to continue it throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, he's playing great, man. It's been fun to watch. He went from nobody really knowing who he is to nobody, like Ryder Cup, Chris Gotterup, absolutely. No, he's not even on a list of 60, 70 guys. But now all of a sudden, this thing changes fast. Go out there 3 weeks, his career's changed. Look at these. He's going to be in all the signature events, all the majors, and now possibly on the Ryder Cup team. And just 3 weeks ago, a lot of people in the golf world didn't know really who he was.
71st to 20th in Ryder Cup standings the last 3 weeks. Pretty good jump, and he got some big golf still left to be played. I'm very bullish. I'm waving the pom-poms heavy for the Chris Gotterup to the U.S. Ryder Cup team.
The final event, the Windham Championship, last tournament before going into the playoffs, but also the last tournament for my man Ian Baker-Finch. He's retiring from the broadcast booth after 30 years, 19 with CBS. He's a major champion, in my opinion, a Hall of Fame broadcaster, one of the nicest guys to ever do it, and one of the best to ever do it. The man, everyone loves this guy. He is going to be missed by our team so much. It's going to be sad to see him go. It's going to be emotional on Sunday. We've already been doing some videos and stuff for him. It's going to be a very, very sad day Sunday over on CBS, but we're also going to celebrate the great career of Ian Baker-Finch.
As you should. He's a legend, man. And that voice is one, we've been hearing since we started watching golf back in the day. It'll be a change to have somebody else in there. But he's like you said, he's great at his job, but he's just a hell of a nice guy, man. Like, he's fun to be around. Nothing but great things to say about the career and the person, Ian Baker-Finch. So props to him, and enjoy retirement.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one, man. This season has flown by. I cannot believe I'm already finished for the year, and then we're back at it again in January, but going to send Ian Baker-Finch off in an awesome way, and the Windham Championship is going to be a lot of fun, but also very emotional. But it's been an honor to work alongside him the past several years, and he'll always be a very good friend, and we're going to miss him.
I'll tell you who's got to be on the short list to replace him after I saw his chops this past weekend. Post Malone.
Oh.
Worked with Vern Lundquist. Happy
Yes.
Gilmore, too. He had some good shit to drop in there. I'd be shocked if Post isn't on the short list.
He was beautiful. Knows his golf.
Yeah, golf guy to the core.
Probably be a little bit of a raise, too, if he came and worked with us at CBS. Just leave his tour.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's got to make good financial decisions. I did like Vern Lundquist and Happy Gilmore. Let's do a little Happy G2 review here. Vern Lundquist saying, that was some gangster shit. That's a line of... wasn't expecting there, but the movie as a whole, dude, what do you think? We got reviews all over the board. Give me the Colt Knost Happy Gilmore 2 breakdown.
Real quick on the great Vern Lundquist. Now he's going to have 3 famous catchphrases. You're going to have In Your Life with Tiger Woods, Yes Sir, Jack Nicklaus, and now That's Some Gangster Shit.
That's it. That's it. That's what they're going to put on the resume.
Yep.
When he goes into the Hall of Fame. Those will be the 3 right there. Happy Gilmore 2. We've been talking about it for a long time. It finally came. What'd you think? Give it to me.
I feel like I knew what to expect going in, and I think most people should know what to expect going in when it's Adam Sandler, it's Happy Madison Productions. Like, they're funny, they're goofy, they're dumb movies. Happy Gilmore was dumb, but it was really entertaining and really funny. Happy Gilmore 2, yeah, it's not the best movie. As we had a caller call in, he's like, if you expected this thing to win an Oscar, like, you're out of your mind. It was a lot of funny moments, a lot of dumb moments. I thought the cameos were awesome. It was very entertaining for the most part. Getting to see the golfers and other celebs go in there and start doing some acting. I enjoyed it. Like, most of the time throughout the movie, I was like, God, that is so stupid. But you're kind of saying it as you're laughing at the same time. So I was fine with it.
Yeah, the plot is irrelevant. I mean, I watched it knowing fully, like, this isn't going to be Happy Gilmore 1 that I'm still quoting to this day, 20 plus years later. Like, that's an iconic movie. This is just going to be like, let's tour the flags here and run it back. Also, comedies, I feel like, are really, really hard to follow up when you have an iconic movie like a Happy Gilmore 2. Like, the sequels never land as much as they do in, like, dramas and things. Like, think of Anchorman, one of the best ever. Anchorman 2, not it. Hangover, they kind of gradually got worse as they went down. How about Dumb and Dumber? Maybe the greatest comedy of all time. Dumb and Dumber 2, I don't even think I got through it. It's harder on comedies, but I went in expecting the exact same thing. I heard about all the cameos. There were actually more than I thought. Scotty Scheffler, for me, best male performer as a PGA Tour player. Xander Schauffele had some good stuff as well. But, yeah, if you're expecting Shawshank Redemption, you ain't going to get it.
No.
But you get some dumb shit, some chuckles. And, if you got 2 hours to kill, great airplane movie. Watch it on an airplane.
Yeah, Zalatoris was great. Travis Kelce, I thought, as the waiter, was fantastic. Mr. Nicholas, when he's like, can I get half iced tea, half lemonade? He's like, you mean Arnold Palmer? He's like, no, I'm Jack Nicklaus. I was like, it happens all the time. I get that a lot. Yeah, it was great. There were some very funny parts of it. I loved Xander, That's What She Said part. And then I think I got a fork in my ass. And Ricky says, that's what she said. Just there were some dumb, funny moments. But overall, I thought it was entertaining. And our guest this week, he knows all about it because it was revealed right after the release of the movie that Hunter Mahan, PGA Tour winner, Ryder Cupper, former guest on Subpar, actually played Happy Gilmore with the golf swing. Like he was Adam Sandler. Went through the whole makeup thing. He released it all on Instagram, but he's going to join us today to talk about that incredible experience.
Yeah, dude, the swing double for Happy Gilmore. It's going to be fun to talk with Hunter, get a little behind the scenes action here. Phenomenal job by him, I thought, making the swing look authentic. But now it's time to get to something else that's phenomenal. And that's our picks, dude. We're officially, I don't know when the last time we both won our bets were, but it's been a minute. So now officially hot.
We're so back. 3M Open.
Gambling is so easy.
We owned it. Both hit our top 20 bets. Some rather nice numbers, I might add, as well. This week, Windham Championship, and my guy Siwoo is the favorite. How cool is that? I love that. And but I want to show you what the betting markets and our friends over at Fanatics Sportsbook think of Siwoo, because he is the betting favorite, Sleaze. But he's plus 1,800, so 18 to 1 to win. But if you scroll on over to that top 20, he's plus 175. So the odds are pretty high, or not great for a top 20. They kind of think either he's going to play great or he's going to just pack it in and not give a shit. Which
he has no passion.
They know
he
Siwoo.
Has no passion.
They know Siwoo, but I believe in Siwoo. He loves this golf course. Siwoo Kim, top 20 plus 175.
Oh, wow. Betting favorite top 20. That is good juice. That may be the highest juice you'll see for a top 20.
That's what I'm saying.
For the betting favorite. They obviously listen to the show when he says, if I'm not in the top, whatever he said, top 20, I have no passion.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if he's got passion this week. I almost went back-to-back with Jake Knapp because he was plus 200 for a top 20 last week. Easy cash on that. He's the same odds again this week at the Windham, but I'm going to move it just a little bit. Listen to the juice on this. I've got a man who's sitting 51st right now in the FedEx Cup standings. Just coming off a week off, was over at the Open Championship. Little time to regroup before this home stretch. Bud Cauley, top 20, plus 300.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of juice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Bud Cauley.
Super accurate off the tee. Phenomenal iron player. Back on Bermuda grass, which is what he's accustomed to. I love that. Plus 300.
Former baby model.
Mm-hmm. Needs to get kids the full package.
I like it. All right. Well, let's get
Speaking of full package, dude.
Oh,
what about this?
I was going to save that.
You haven't even mentioned this.
I was going to save that
little
till the
lip
end.
Sweater.
That's quite the look you got there. Are you maybe you got Hunter Mahan playing Adam Sandler? Are you going to be Ted Lasso here soon in something?
You know what? If they're looking for a stunt double, I'll do it for half. I'll do the whole season for half of whatever Sudeikis is doing it for. Guaranteed. Sign it right now.
How's the wife like it?
She hates it. Virtually everyone I've shown it to hates it. I was just shaving the other day. I was like, dude, I'm just going to shave it down low. And I got to the end, and this is the last thing I hadn't shaved. I was like, you know what? Let's just see how this goes for a minute. And now I'm on like day 4. I don't think anyone likes it up to this point, other than a couple friends that I think say they like it just to disagree with my wife. It definitely doesn't look good, but just kind of for an ironic play, It won't last long, but I'm enjoying it while I got it.
I mean, look what it did for Gary McCord. Johnson Wagner is all of a sudden famous now.
Good point.
Maybe you're just trying to
this thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to let this thing grow and then get the chipping yips, and it's going to be a launch pad for my career.
I love it. All right, well, let's get to our guest this week. This is going to be a lot of fun hearing about how everything happened behind the scenes over at Happy Gilmore, too. Hunter Mahan joins us on Golf Subpar.
All right, folks, you probably know our guest today as a longtime PGA Tour player, 6-time winner. He's a Ryder Cupper, President's Cupper, but now you can add movie star to the resume. He is the swing double for Adam Sandler and Happy Gilmore, too. Hunter Mahan joins us. How we doing, H?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Dude, thanks for coming on. First off, this came as a surprise, I think, to pretty much everyone. When you put it out on Instagram after the release of Happy Gilmore 2, I was actually checking some social media stuff during the premiere, and I saw you sitting there, I believe, next to Colin Morikawa and his wife, and I was like,
yeah,
what the hell's Hunter Mahan doing at the premiere? But now it all kind of makes sense. How did this come about?
Yeah, so this was a long time ago, probably, it's like September almost. They called my agent, just someone from like Happy Madison. They called Mary Lyle Townsend from Team Loss, and didn't explain it fully, just sort of like was like, hey, they need someone to swing kind of for Adam for like Happy Gilmore. and they're just he's not real happy with kind of the people that have their swinging, and he's very particular about it. And I said, well, I got to leave. I've got a high school tournament I was leaving the next day for. And so it was a 2-day event, and it was actually out of town. And I said, I'm very interested. I would love this sounds crazy, and I would love the opportunity, but I gotta handle a few things before I can get there. Because I can't leave these kids, and I just can't leave them. I gotta make some accommodations. And so luckily I called the AD and assistant AD, called my assistant coach at the time, and I'm like, can you guys, I'll get them there, but is there any way I can leave? And everybody was actually really supportive and kind of blown away about the opportunity. So everyone helped, everyone chipped in kind of real quick. And so this was like I took the kids up Sunday, we played Monday, and then the assistant coach came up, and I drove straight to the airport Tuesday. My wife had some clothes, she threw them in a bag, and I literally just went straight to the airport. And then by Wednesday morning, I was in full beard. They shaved everything, cut my hair, colored, did everything, and then I started just making swings Wednesday morning, and did just a couple things for the next like 2 days. And then by Friday, they were like making a decision whether I was going to be able to do this or not. And I guess Adam really liked it, and he liked that I could do it and do it easily and kind of freely. And it looked enough like him, I guess, that he liked it. And so Friday, I was good to go and kind of signed with them for like the next 6 weeks to kind of be there on site and just be there for basically whatever he needed and whatever I could do, whether it's just like a stand-in, a swing, B-roll, another camera somewhere to shoot close-ups of things, just whatever. I was sort of at their beck and call for the next 6 weeks.
I mean, you have such a beautiful golf swing in real life, and you have that distinct follow-through that's so like easily recognizable. How long did it take you to get rid of Hunter Mahan's swing and develop the Happy Gilmore swing?
Yeah, it took a little bit. I mean, it definitely, to just get like, when I got there, it was sort of like I was looking up Happy Gilmore, the first movie, and figuring out how does he get into is it a walk? Is it a shuffle? Which foot goes first? I wanted to be as professional and real as I could. And so I kind of messed around with a few different things and try to get, his finish is very high, right? It's like, you can kind of tell it's like boom, and it's kind of, he kind of falls over with his foot, and he's not really standing there. It's a big high finish and stuff. So I wanted to make sure I got that as good as I could. And I think it was the first day, Thursday, I was kind of introduced to him kind of quickly, and he's like, I want it to be big, and the kind of walking into it wasn't as important, but kind of like a big, long, exaggerated swing as big as you could and tall, kind of be really tall through is what he sort of instructed me to do and how he wanted it to look. And so I kind of focused on that as sort of best I could.
How much time did you get to spend with Adam Sandler over those 6 weeks?
Oh, every day. After like the first week, I'd come by and say hi, and he'd always give a fist pump, talk a little bit, here and there. He was so engaged with everybody because I had pretty low expectations of who I was going to meet, see what I was going to do. I didn't really know. But by the end of it, he's the coolest, the easiest guy to be around. You can tell by all the people around him how much they love him and respect him. And it's an intense atmosphere because of so many things have to be done at such a quick pace. But you're also dealing with all the unions within New Jersey and where they were filming. It's just, there's a lot going on. And as I told someone there, I was like, I couldn't tell if there were too many people working or not nearly enough because it just was so much going on. And they kind of said, that's kind of the perfect way to say it because you're just not sure. But, and Adam himself, he's in charge of like everything. Like everyone went to him to make sure that everything was good from his perspective. And from the hair and makeup that I had to do, he was always going to give the okay on that. And he was very, very particular. And it was just, he wanted it to be perfect because this movie was a very, very big deal to everyone involved.
Before we get back to Hunter Mahan, a quick note from Golf Pride. When it comes to putting, feel is everything, and the new reverse taper grip from Golf Pride delivers. It's built with a slightly larger lower hand to quiet your hands through impact and keep the face square, giving you a more consistent, more confident stroke. It comes in 3 different shapes and even small sizes now, so whatever your putting style is, there's one that fits. Dial in your short game and check out Reverse Taper at golfpride.com, and right now, you can get 20% off a full set, up to 13 swing grips and 1 putter grip with code SUBPAR20, now through August 31st. Now, back to Hunter Mahan. Is he as good of a dude as just a human being? Forget like the actor part, as everybody says he is.
For sure, he lives up to the billing. He's sort of everything you'd want him to be. Just so gracious with his time. I mean, everybody. I mean, I'm talking about sound people to actors just like myself, just trying to be there, just trying to hide and do their job. To the people, to all the fans that all the stand-ins and just the extras, just nice. I mean, he went out of his way. He made sure everyone understood how much they were appreciated for their time and their work. He's just a great human being. You can just tell that's really important to him, right? Like how he treats people, because you can tell he has a responsibility to a lot of people, and he's just very loyal to them, but to also just being a good person.
That's so awesome to hear. I love that. Well, part of your clip on your Instagram was you sitting in the makeup chair, becoming Happy Gilmore. How much time was it each day in the makeup chair to get it exactly how they wanted it, where you pretty much were his twin?
Yeah, so I basically had the same 2 guys kind of did it almost every day, Todd and Steve, and they when I first got there, they shaved everything off. It wasn't like I had a beard like I had now, but they just cut it all off. Kind of went to Teresa. She kind of cut my hair as best they could, and then colored it. We had to color it for like 3 weeks, and then after that, they just dyed it and just made it black and made it dark, and then they would color in the gray, kind of where they thought. And then they put the beard in. I would get there around 6:30 about every day, and it'd take 30 to 35 minutes just to kind of get the beard and get it right, get the color right, and do all that. And then it would take 20 minutes to sort of take everything off and kind of get cleaned up. And then I, kind of leave for the day, whenever that is during, basically at dark.
So how long was your portion of like the shoot? How long were you on set or whatever they call it?
Yeah. Well, I was there 6:30 every day, almost, unless I was not working at all.
For 6 weeks.
So for 6 weeks, it was about 5 days a week. I went home. If I had like a Monday off or something, I would go home. So I did that like twice. But if I was just, if he was on the golf course, I was on the golf course. And so I would just, some days I would do nothing. I would just maybe step in and just, they pull a camera and just try to measure things. And it's just amazing the things they have to do to get these shots, right? And for a very small scene, right? Like the John Lovett scene, where people are going to watch where they're on that driving range and he's right next to Lovitz. It was like, that was all day. All day from 6 a.m. to, dark. It was just an all day shoot. They just had to get everything right. So if he was doing anything, then I basically had to be there.
That's wild. It's just amazing how much effort goes in to make these movies. You're talking a 90-minute movie. You're there for 6 weeks, sun up to sundown, grinding, getting this thing done. It's just, it's amazing to me. So when you're out there on the golf course and they need you, do they yell Hunter? Do they yell stunt double? What do they yell to get you over?
Well, because I just had no idea what to expect. But like I said, like everyone there, like knew your name. They knew who I was. They knew my name. They always invited me in, and like I said, they're super gracious of just my I experienced. Like I was so happy to be there, and they acted like it was, I was doing them a favor or something. I was like, this is great. This is just once in a lifetime opportunity to be in this situation. So I knew that the director Kyle and some producers were super nice to me. Like I said, like you could tell that just being a good person, being nice to everybody was sort of a prerequisite for working with like Happy Madison, since this was his movie and these were his people. Um, Everybody was just so nice, and so they always come out, called me by my name, and like I said, I wouldn't steer too far away from Adam. Like if he was doing something on the green, I would be around just in case they had to do something. I would fill in like they were trying to hit that bunker shot. That they splashed over Willie Z. Like I was in there doing that first, and we were doing some rehearsals because they were trying to make sure the sand didn't have to just kind of pop out; it had to explode at a ridiculous rate. So I was in there first, making sure that making sure it was all going to work right. So he had so many responsibilities on set. It made sense for me to be in there and just making sure that the look where I was going to stand and everything was right, so he can take a view of it as well. Because he had a lot of hats on when he was there.
That's so cool.
And there's so many cameos in this, Hunter, and I'm sure you know all the golfers. But give me a guy that you thought was like, this was the coolest guy I got to meet, non-golfer, while you were on set.
Yeah, meeting like John Lovitz. I mean, I've watched so many of his movies over my lifetime, and I think he's so funny. He's so dry and just like looks miserable, but he's hilarious. And so when he got there, I was really excited to sort of watch him like a person, and you could tell like Adam why Adam invited him there to do that. Like he didn't really need it. He wasn't really a part of the movie, but you could tell Adam loved him and thought he was so funny. And so it was so cool to watch someone that he loved and respected be funny and just do his thing. And Adam just let him like rip on whatever he wanted to say, how he wanted to do it. It was so funny. And then watching someone like Adam, who was just hysterically laughing, just enjoying the whole experience, was so great. And it was so, it was so endearing for a guy like that to be starstruck almost in a way. And then Esteban, like Marcelo Hernandez, is so funny. Adam was dying laughing watching this guy. And Esteban was like the second caddy to Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
And he was so funny. Like he just stole every scene he was in. He was there for a day. But he was on the range running around, and Adam was just laughing. The whole time he was on set, Adam was laughing. This guy was so funny. And then like Eminem was just sort of like, that was just crazy. That was just wild. To see him like there, I mean, he was jumping in the water, like he was all in. He was fully committed to doing that crazy scene, right? And that's really cool to have someone of that caliber to be asked to like, hey, we're gonna throw you in this pond and play with alligators and be jumping, like how ridiculous. But that's kind of the power of Sandler's, to kind of make crazy requests and people are like all in. They're all in for that.
I saw a clip on Dan Patrick where he was telling Dan Patrick, he's like, yeah, after the show here, like I got to go call Marshall and try to talk him into coming into this movie. And obviously he did it. And I thought when Sleaze asked you about your favorite cameos, just knowing you and like the music you like, or at least you used to like, I thought Eminem would be your number one guy you were excited to meet.
No, it was, I think even then it was had no idea he was coming. Mm-hmm. Like it was almost like down to the wire. Like he was there for hours. It wasn't even a day. It was like he flew in and they got him and did it, right? And you could tell that this movie was very, very big. Like literally, figuratively, like this had a lot of momentum. People have been talking about it. Happy Gilmore 2. They really wanted to see it. And so he knew the importance of it and wanted to make it great. I mean, they pulled out all the stops for this thing. And Adam was, he was calling people. It wasn't like, his team was calling, asking for, would you want to do it? No, it's like he is picking up the phone and trying to make this movie as crazy and as funny and as hilarious as he could. And that just showed the lengths that he was going to go to get the best people that he could to think if he thought it was going to be funny.
Yeah, they'll never.
Yeah, and I mean the people he got were outrageous. And when I asked you like who is the coolest person, I was hoping you would say Eminem because I feel like we might maybe align a little bit on our musical preferences. But did you get to like interact with him, or was it like, hey, I'm watching Eminem shoot his stuff and then he's gone?
No, I did not. He had a lot of people around him. Like that was no joke. Like there was a lot of security, and like I said, it was very efficient, very quick, and very fast. So that was like the one guy I did not get to like shake hands with and say hi to. Meeting Kelce was super cool. Superstar in so many fashions, but he was so great too. He was so someone of that jumping into that space. He's a super funny guy, but he was so respectful of like all the people and everyone around him. He knew his role. He knew he wasn't the star. He just was listening to Adam and everyone giving him what they were going to do and stuff. That whole tournament champion scene was like the most surreal scene because of Nicholas and Trevino and the golfing stardom in that room was so cool. And that was really, it was one of those like, man, you couldn't get all these guys together anywhere else in the world almost. Maybe for a champions dinner, that's about it. But that was fun because that was multiple days and guys loved it. I mean, they really loved to be a part of this movie.
We're going to take a break for a second to tell you this portion of the podcast is supported by Carlisle Companies, a leading supplier of innovative building envelope systems. With buildings responsible for nearly 40% of total energy use and energy demand on the rise, Carlisle is meeting the challenge head on. Carlisle's advanced, energy-efficient, and labor-saving solutions help reduce strain on the grid while reducing labor for contractors. We have a lot of great events in our area, but hands down, one of the coolest events in the Phoenix area is the Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic. This Epson Tour golf event, which is a feeder tour for the LPGA, has the largest purse on the Epson Tour and attracts some of the best talent in women's golf. The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic at TPC Scottsdale every spring reflects Carlisle's commitment to the support and advancement of women in business and athletics. Now back to Hunter Mahan. I'm glad you brought that up because that's where we saw like most of the tour players. You mentioned Mr. Nicholas, Trevino, Nick Faldo was there as well. Yeah. I got to know, like, who was the worst at nailing their lines? I've heard some stories that maybe Faldo messed up a couple of times. Maybe Ricky kind of threw in a little idea at Adam Sandler. Give us a little insight to that scene right there because it was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It was seeing the old guys, Nicholas having to get his line out. You're so nervous. Everyone's like trying to like spit it out really fast. And so they kind of started and they had to slow it down and been like, hey, we're just talking. Adam's he's so funny because he's so relaxed about everything and he knows everyone's job at the same time. And so just slowing everyone down and just almost getting in the conversation and relaxed and then going into their lines always seemed to make it work. But yeah, Faldo definitely struggled a little bit. Freddie was a pro. Lee was the best. Lee's telling stories. They had to like, hey, Lee, we got to get to acting here. You got to be quiet here, man. Like, but that Lee being Lee, he's just the best. So, what a scene, what a room that was. And that was super cool. That was super, super, super cool.
What about the current players? Those are the former players struggling with their line. Does anyone stand out in terms of like, wow, that guy was really good, or somebody that just like, dude, he can't get it right?
No, I thought everyone got it right. I thought Xander was really funny. Like he just nailed like the facial expressions and like that was fun to see. And there was a lot of trust, I think, between Adam and the riders and trying to make this thing funny and giving those guys some leadway to kind of with their lines and how we're going to do things and they nailed it, right? It's a pretty daunting thing, a daunting task to be in a movie of this caliber and be given like a real big scene and you got to be funny, you got to nail it. And I thought they did. I thought Xander was absolutely hilarious and just absolutely killed it.
So I tell everyone, like, that was my favorite part was Xander, just because, like you said, the facial expression, that's what she said just out of nowhere. I was like, right. That's the Xander Schauffele, like we all know off the golf course. Like he's funny, he's goofy. I know the rest of the world doesn't get to see it very often, but that was one of my favorite parts of the movie. And like, I think I got a fork in my ass. Ricky, that's what she said. I was like, that was great.
It was so, and Scheffler was great too. Mm-hmm. I mean, Scheffler was really, I think of all the people, like people never see that guy to Scotty, right? Like he is just head down, grind, talks about his faith and his family. But then you see that movie and you're like, dude's got a lot of personality. He is funny. He knows what, like he's just a dude at the end of the day. And he really, I mean, he just killed it, and they really, leaned on him a little bit, and luckily he was not shying away from getting arrested and all that stuff. I mean, that's a big ask. A lot of guys would say no to that and be like, no, I don't want to bring that up again. That was, he could have had some agency to say no, I'd rather not do that. Totally leaned into it and absolutely killed it. And I think that really made Adam and everyone happy, because that was something, that not everybody would have leaned into, and I'm so happy he did, because it just made the movie so much better.
I agree. Sleaze, I just want to jump in here real quick, just to change the subject for a second, because you brought up Scotty, and yes, the scene was fantastic, but you used to work with Randy Smith for quite some time, and I think last time we had you on the show, Scotty was a good player, but he's not what he is now.
Yeah.
And you've known him since he was just a little kid out there. Tell us a little bit about when you first met Scotty, and how impressed are you with what he's doing out there right now?
Yeah, it's funny. I remember Scotty a little bit, but I remember his dad, who was always around on the range and stuff, and watching us, and he was just, you could tell his dad was a little bit out of his element. He knew that he didn't know a ton about golf, but he's like, my son loves it and loves to play, and he would sit there and hit balls and watch Justin, Harrison, and Randy was kind of working with him to get, a little bit better here, a little bit better there. And he was a little guy, hadn't really hit his growth spurt yet. And that's, when guys start getting a little bit bigger, you start seeing their potential and stuff. And he just got better and better. Then I went to college and I turned pro and sort of lost sight of him, but I kept hearing these whispers of Scotty Scheffler around Dallas and just tearing it up, and course record after course record after course record. And then he sort of goes to college and turns pro, and he was always really good, but you never saw what we're seeing now. But I think you're also seeing the greatness of Randy Smith and his ability. I told Gary Woodland this. Gary's working with him again. I said, Randy's superpower is the ability to take a player, not change their DNA, understand who they are and how they swing and where their talent lies, and then refining that to find their best within that. Like, you can't tell me every instructor is going to say, we need to get your feet on the ground. Yeah. You cannot be doing that. That's going to be a killer for you. Randy's like, you ever heard Randy talk about our feet need to be a little bit better? We need to have a better control in our feet. None of that. He is incredible at understanding what a player does well, and I'm not going to mess with that. We're going to tinker with some other things. And Randy's great with psychology and all those things, but the ability to do less, as a teacher, and let the student and them work together is incredible. I don't know if anyone else could have taken Scotty Scheffler to this place, because I think everyone else would have said, we've got to change things.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Colt and I have talked about this. Hunter, are you shocked that more guys on tour aren't reaching out to Randy? Clearly, he's got a world-class talent in Scotty Scheffler. I got it. But given everything you just said, doesn't change the DNA, kind of works with what the players have. Are you surprised that more guys aren't blowing up his phone and saying, hey, help me?
They could be. You never know. I know Gary Woodland's working with them again. Mm-hmm. So Randy's older too, right? I think his time is limited to how much he wants to travel and do that. And I think I'm sure plenty of guys are wondering, like, what is it with this guy? Why is he so? What is the? But Randy's also he's not anti-TrackMan or everything. Guys are pretty obsessed with that now. Yep. They really want numbers. They really want to understand. But if I was definitely a young player, I'd want to go see Randy Smith and talk to him and see what he has to say about my swing and my game and sort of what I could do to get better. Because Randy's really good at talking to people. I think that's also one of his greatest strengths is communication and really understanding the player and understanding who they are and how to talk to them and get the most out of them. Get most out of the golfer is really his gift.
That's very well said. Yep, he's one of the best. And what Scotty's done has just been so impressive. But going back to the movie real quick. Okay, the premiere. You're there. I got to know what that was like. And also, how many people actually knew that you were the swing double in the movie before you let everybody know?
Yeah, so I was talking to Kevin Grady, a producer, and I was curious. I'm like, what can I say, like, do you want me to say anything? Do you want me to, like, I'm not gonna, not that I'm going to promote it or anything, but like, and they're like, no, we just want to keep it quiet. We really want this to be a surprise. And like all the people you saw in the movie, I think that was the point, right? We really want to surprise people, and we want to be, and they wanted to be in charge, and Netflix wants to be in charge of how everything sort of gets laid out. So um, I told the kids on the team, and the parents knew. Um, it was really cool because kind of on my last day there, um, I asked Adam if he'd make a little video for me with the kid, so I can show the high school kids and my family and stuff like that. And he was really gracious. And so we've got this funny video of me and him wearing the same stuff and the beard and everything. And like I said, he just was so generous. And he was like, it was so great having Coach. Thanks for loaning him to us for this 6 weeks, man. He was a legend. So that was really, really, really cool. And so I didn't do anything, didn't really say, I didn't tell anybody sort of after that. But some people knew. And then the premiere, I was hoping we'd go. The producer Kevin was like, I think we'll be able to get you a ticket or two. So got the call like a month ago. They gave us 2 tickets. My wife was like, you should take our oldest daughter, Zoe. And I was like, that's a great idea. This is really a once in a lifetime sort of thing. And my wife was so gracious. She really wanted Zoe to have that experience. And another one of those, I don't know what to expect. We'll see. We stayed in the city for a few days and sort of made a vacation out of it. And we kind of walked over, and we were just like, it was pretty, we had no idea, but we knew we'd get to kind of, the green carpet as it was there was, we would get to walk it, and they kind of showed us out, and it was awesome. It was so surreal and so cool. Like everything Happy Mass and team does, it's just first class, and they make everyone feel as good as they can. So it was really, really cool. And, like I said, once in a lifetime opportunity and a trip experience. Everything was just unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean,
when you told the high school kids that you're going to be in this, I mean, they're like 14, 15, 16 years old. Do they remember like the original Happy Gilmore? It's kind of like Caddyshack would be for, guys.
For sure. It's a multi-generational movie, right? Like I loved it. It was hilarious, but now it's coming back again, right? I think it's number 2 on Netflix. People are going back and watching it. And it's so cool because I think his movies are gaining steam again, right? And for any high school, college kid, they've seen Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, and anything that he's ever done is just hilarious. So that kind of humor is coming back, which is a good thing. And when I dressed up like fully in the costume and like sent it to them, they were just freaking out. That was, of all the things that I've done in golf, which I've done a lot of amazing, cool things, and I've been really proud of. Clearly, this is the most to them, the most impactful thing that I think I've done and been lucky enough to do.
Absolutely. Such a cool experience, man. We appreciate you coming on and sharing some of it with us, but I think we got to ask you a little bit about the Ryder Cup. We're a couple months away. I know you're going to be there doing the coverage for the World Feed as you did in Rome. You did an amazing job, but you played in 3 Ryder Cups, 2 on the road, 1 at home. We're heading up to Bethpage. It's going to be a raucous atmosphere. We haven't had a close Ryder Cup. I just realized this. We haven't had a close Ryder Cup since 2012. I mean, pretty much everyone has been a blowout the last several years. What's it like for you as a player going in? I want to hear about the away game. Okay, you're going over there where everyone hates you pretty much.
Right.
What's it like teeing it up and playing over there in the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, the away ones are interesting. I mean, it was funny because I talked to a player after Rome, and he was like, boy, that was sort of our best chance. Because Rome is not going to be like when they go to Ireland and they go back on the island in the UK. Like that's going to be raucous. That's going to be a different crowd. Going to Italy was a great opportunity for them to win on the road. It had a good vibe, but nothing like it's going to be at Bethpage in the coming years. Like nothing. So he was like, that was sort of a missed opportunity because it's going to be tough going forward. This one's going to be tough to win, for the European side. It's just going to be a lot on the U.S. side that they're going to have to overcome. Now, I think the teams are going to be feels like they're going to be pretty even. I don't, see like one side so much better than the other. It's not like Scotty's played unbelievable. Like in the last one, he struggled and you got beat down a little bit. So I just don't see one side being much greater than the other. But that crowd is a real thing, and being on home soil matters. And it's such a hard thing you couldn't explain it to a young guy unless you've really experienced it. It's really one of those things because unlike other sporting events, this is so unique to golf. I think this is one of my favorite things to watch, to be a part of, to go with the world feed again. It's just so much fun, but you can't really prepare for it. You just got to step in there and you got to experience it and you got to feel it. Like when you're coming on their soil, you really got to be, as a team, you really got to wrap your arms around that other guy and rely on them and talk to them and really feed off each other. You can't just do it alone. You just can't be in your head and I got to play well and I got to take care of me. That doesn't work when you're on the road. You need each other and you've got to support each other in a really, really big way. And you got to talk, and you got to communicate, and you have to create your own energy, and you got to support each other no matter if someone hits a bad drive. It's the idea that you can just play your game. You can talk to your partner, but it doesn't work. Like the European side has done a really good job. They immediately connect with the crowd. They sign a ton of autographs. They don't shy away from them. They immediately invite them in, and they always do a good job of thinking about their playing partner, thinking about that other guy. There always feels like they're thinking about how do I make him play his best this week, and vice versa. I feel like they do a great job of feeding off each other and helping each other. And I think from the last Ryder Cup, it was very clear we didn't see that from the U.S. side. They just, for some reason, they just did not look connected. And it's a weird because that is a close team and those guys are really good friends and they know each other so well. That was a very surprising thing to actually witness. And of all the Ryder Cups that I've seen, that was the one where it was so glaring to me watching it and sort of being there and kind of hearing everything and seeing everything. It was very evident. They just it's hard to explain, but they just didn't seem as interested as the other side. And that's probably not fair to say, but it just looked that way. They just didn't seem to connect with each other, and they didn't quite know how to get the best out of each other as a team. And it's a hard thing to do, but you got to, when you go on the road, like I said, you have to wrap your arms around that other guy and know that dude, you got to pour your soul into that guy, and that guy's got to pour his soul into you if you guys want to have a chance to beat those two guys and the crowd that week, because it's very challenging.
Yeah, that's good insight. It felt like we just got kicked in the mouth from the opening match over there in Rome and just kind of never got our feet under us.
We're going to take a break from Hunter Mahan to tell you there's just something about custom gear. It looks better, feels better, and let's be honest, it plays better. We recently made some Birdie Juice gear, and the whole process was seamless. Super easy to design, and they turned out sick. You can build your own setup too. Hats, polos, hoodies, whatever you need, all from the top golf brands, and fully customized with your logo or design. So skip the off-the-rack stuff. Head to shop.golf.com and make something your crew will actually want to wear. Now here's more with Hunter Mahan.
But going into this year, it's a lot of hype. One kind of subplot that's developing, though, that we've never seen. We got a captain that may have a chance to play his way onto the team. You've been on these teams. You know what the captain, in terms of like what he has to put in and stuff. What do you think's the move for Keegan Bradley, assuming he continues to play well like throughout the playoffs?
Yeah, I actually love it. I think it's awesome. I think Keegan's earned the right to pick himself. I think he's played well enough. I don't think anyone would have a problem with that. And honestly, I think him being out there, playing the course, experiencing everything, I think that's going to make him a better captain. I just talked to Furyk was at the premiere, and he was like, it seems like the more that gets put on Keegan's shoulders, he just gets more hyper-focused and he seems to be getting clear about what he wants to do. He's playing great. Everything, it's like he can take it. And he's willing to take all those challenges. And I think it's just helping him get super focused on everything. All the details are going to matter as a captain. So I love it. I think it's going to be awesome. I think he's if he keeps playing the way he does, I think he deserves to pick himself. I think with Jim kind of being that vice captain and I think that guy that can help facilitate everything that needs to be done. The other captains just have to be there for all the players. That's all. Their job is to help all the players. What do you need? What can I help you do? That's all their job, right? And if you've got like Furyk and Keegan kind of communicating, and then everyone and them telling everybody what to do, man, I think it should be a great week for the U.S. side.
It's going to be a battle. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the European team is loaded, and I can't wait to get up to Bethpage. You're going to be there. I got to ask you this because every other player that I've talked to about the Ryder Cup, they said it is hands down the first shot they hit at the Ryder Cup is by far the most nervous they've ever been. Would you agree with that? And also, I need to hear what your first shot at the Ryder Cup was.
Yeah, I would. It's you're definitely nervous, I guess. I don't know. I felt like when I played the President's Cup, that was like my first team event. That took a lot of pressure off me on the next one for some reason. I felt pretty good about that. I think what you just have to do is like you can't try too hard. When I talked to Zinger in '08, he's like, I know how much you want it, but make sure that you want it the right amount. He's like, don't want it too much. Don't try too hard. And then don't try to be too, you got to find your happy place. No pun intended.
Well played.
Thank
nice.
You. You got to find your area of focus to be at, some guys are hyper and they can take it. I think Keegan gets more hyped. He's going to play better, right? So it's like, you got to find your area and live within there. So I never really felt like that experience. I wouldn't tell anybody, you're going to be so nervous. I wouldn't put that on them. I said, it's going to be an unbelievable experience. Feel it, harness it, but don't try too hard. I think you can really try so hard to get the crowd going that you overswing, you overanalyze everything. It's just like, just feel everything and don't escalate the situation. The situation's already there, and just find your place and don't be someone different than you are, because that's totally good enough.
Harness the good, block the bad, feel the flow. Yeah,
I
see what you're doing. You're a
there.
professional already. What a movie star.
He knows.
God, I love this. Well, H, man, this has been awesome. I know you're a busy man right now and everything, but it's so cool to see you get to experience that. Thank you so much for coming on with us, and we'll see you up in New York at Bethpage.
That's right. We'll see you guys there, man. Thank you for having me.
All right, that was Hunter Mahan, a.k.a. Happy Gilmore, telling us about all the behind-the-scenes stuff. That's just awesome to hear, man. I love that this came about for him. I was so confused, Sleaze, because I saw on somebody's Instagram, I think it might have been Colin Morikawa's, they're at the premiere, and all of a sudden I see Hunter Mahan and his daughter sitting there. I'm like, why the fuck is Hunter Mahan at the Happy Gilmore 2 premiere? I was like, I know he's been doing some media, but I didn't know he'd be invited to that. Now it all makes sense.
Because he is Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Now, they put out a tweet like with a little video of him getting ready, the makeup, becoming Adam Sandler. By the way, they stood next to each other with sunglasses on. It's actually like hard to tell who's who. But they showed his first few takes doing the Happy Gilmore swing. And you know how Hunter has that like very distinct follow through where it kind of like wraps around? The first few were that. And then by the end, dude, he had it more like vertical, like happy, like Colin Montgomery kind of. I thought he did a good job, like making that swing kind of mirror what we're used to seeing from him.
Absolutely. Really
just
cool.
Just a talent.
And congratulations to Hunter. That's something that's really cool to be able to tell all your friends and family. Like, yeah, I actually was in Happy Gilmore too, a lot. But cool for Hunter to come on with us. One last thing before we get out of here. Friend of the program, Nate Bargatze, Sleaze. I was just in Minneapolis. He played over in St. Paul, which is the other city of the Twin Cities. Went and saw him on Saturday night. All his new stuff. 1 hour. I have never laughed so hard. I was in tears. My stomach was hurting from laughing. If you get a chance and he's in your city and you don't go see him, you're making a massive mistake, dude. The guy is so talented. We had him on Subpar a couple of years ago. He is blown up. He's now arguably the biggest comedian in the world right now. And just want to say thank you, sir, and congratulations on your success, because what you did on Saturday night in front of all those people was phenomenal.
Subpar, another launching pad for a monster career.
Yeah, good point.
That's it. Dude, he came out that year that he came on Subpar, like a few months later. just wanted to come to the Phoenix Open. And so obviously we took him out. I was kind of tasked with showing him around. He wanted to see 16. We walked every inch of that place. 0 people noticed Nate Bargatze. No one knew who he was, no nothing. Now you fast forward, like you said, dude, he is the biggest comic in the world right now. He's touring all over the place, and he does it clean too, which is not an easy thing to do. Shout out to him. I will 100% be going to see him if I can get somewhere where he's playing nearby.
Yeah, all his jokes, I mean, they just relate to everyday normal life, and you'll just be sitting there laughing and being like, yep, I get it. It totally makes sense. I mean, it is just beautiful. He's the best, man. Congratulations on all your success, Nate. And thanks to all y'all for listening. We'll talk to y'all next week, Subpar.